Emergency. What comes to mind? A fire? A flood? An earthquake? An active shooter incident? Well, all of these are emergencies, and the best way to ensure your safety and the safety of those around you during an emergency is preparedness. But emergency preparedness is not something you do, but rather something you are. You are prepared for an emergency. The success of your emergency preparedness plan, along with all of the preparations and training, may never be realized. You may never see any of these items acted out within your own organization, but it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to human life. The odds are you will never be involved in an emergency situation in your workplace, but if you are, being prepared and knowing what to do can mean the difference between life and death. It's really that simple. The first step is to be aware of and understand your building's layout, location of emergency equipment, and evacuation routes. If you have any questions, get your questions answered. You don't want to be trying to find the evacuation route in an emergency, so prepare in advance. That's why it's important that all emergency exits remain clear at all times. Although there are things in common to all emergency response, each type of emergency has its own procedures. Let's look at a few. One of the most common workplace safety hazards is fire. Our facilities are equipped with many fire protection systems, such as sprinklers, smoke and heat protection, alarm systems, pull stations, and fire extinguishers to protect our employees. Do not place any materials around any fire protection suppression devices. In the event of an activation of the building's audible emergency alarm system, it is imperative that each employee listens to and follows the directions of the message following the signal.
All personnel, please evacuate to the nearest lot and report to your supervisor. This is not a drill.
There may be fire wardens or captains designated on your floor who will help in evacuations and emergencies. Listen to their directions. Most importantly, don't panic. Evacuate the building immediately using the stairs to exit. Before opening any door, touch it to feel if it's warm. If it is, don't open that door. The heat may indicate there is fire on the other side, so you will need to find another way out. Go outside to your designated assembly area and wait there for instructions. If you find yourself in an unfamiliar location, spend a moment to look for the evacuation route so you always know the best way to exit. Also, remember to look out for visitors that may need your assistance in an emergency. If you only remember one thing about fire safety, is this: you are not here to fight fires, so don't try. Report the fire, call 911, and get out. Elevators must not be used in a fire or smoke emergency. If there's anyone who needs assistance, please provide it. If they cannot evacuate, make sure they are safely in the place of refuge. Immediately notify first responders of the location of these people. And one more thing, stay calm. Many injuries in emergencies are caused by panic, not by the emergency itself. Okay, we talked about being prepared for fires. Now let's talk about being prepared for natural disasters, like in the event of an earthquake or a tornado, for instance. Again, your best defense is to stay calm. Stay in the building. Take cover under a sturdy desk or in a doorway and stay put. Stay away from any glass that might shatter and cut you. Wait until you get an official okay, so you know it's safe for you to move around. A tornado is approaching your building. What do? Proceed to area of refuge. Stay in there and follow the local emergency plans, and then wait until you get an official okay. Take a look around your work area and familiarize yourself with safe places to go in an emergency. That way, you'll be prepared to react quickly. Also, when you travel, give some thought to issues that may be more common at your destination or during a particular season. Some areas more commonly experience floods, others earthquakes, hurricanes, or tornadoes. One of the sad realities of today's workplace is that occasionally someone will call in a threat. Hopefully, that will never happen to you. But if you ever receive a call like that, you need to know what to do. Get as much information as possible, such as who, what, when, where, and why. Immediately inform your supervisor or manager. Then, management will contact law enforcement. If you see any suspicious item, call management and don't touch it. In the event of an active shooter scenario in your workplace, assess the situation. Determine the most reasonable way to protect your own life and the lives of those around you. React. Determine the location of the shooter. Based on that assessment, react in the safest way for you and those around you. Evacuate. If the shooter is in the immediate area and it is safe to do so, evacuate right away. Have an escape route in mind and keep hands visible for first responders. Hide out, shelter in place. If it is safe to do so, lock all doors. Take staff and customers to a secure back area, away from windows or outside area. Block entry to your hiding place and lock doors. Turn off noise sources and silence your cellular telephones. Stay inside this area until instructed to do otherwise by police officials. Do not open the door to anyone unless they can provide appropriate identification. Take action. As a last resort, and only when your life is in imminent danger, consider taking physical action. Communicate. When safe to do so, call out and describe the situation. Inform customers and employees that a person is in the building with a weapon. Call 911 and be prepared to provide as much information about the shooter as possible, including their location, physical description, number and type of weapons used, and number of potential victims. Do not put yourself in harm's way to obtain this information. Get out. Follow all instructions given by authorities. You may be requested to leave the area with your hands above your head and be told to leave all personal belongings behind. Remain calm. When law enforcement arrives, remain calm. Follow their instructions. Avoid threatening movements and avoid pointing or yelling. Do not stop officers during evacuation. Again, the odds of a fire or other emergency occurring in your workplace are very slim. But remember, the most important thing you can do is to be aware of emergency procedures and evacuation routes before an incident occurs. That way, when an emergency does strike, you can remain calm, know what to do, and carry out the plan. This will keep you safe and help keep those around you safe as well.